everybody, and welcome to yet another Hops at Home virtual happy hour, which we connect ourselves with some of the local breweries. And I'm very happy to say that we have our wonderful co-host with us, and that is Mr. Ken McMullen, who looks like he is psychedelically and rocking on his porch. There, very nice, Ken. And then, there's Jay. He's smoking a stogie down in Florida. How you doing, Jay?
Very well, thank you. It's a beautiful day here.
What are you drinking, Jay?
I got Unholy by Coppertail. It's an American triple ale. And if you're down in the Tampa area, you should hit up Coppertail. They are one of the better, if not best, breweries in the area.
We have, in fact, focused them or featured them on our podcast at some point.
We did. They're Oktoberfest. When we did the beer challenge or the beer Oktoberfest thing with you on the Brit Yankee 4 or 5 months ago.
I remember that. I'm going to have to mute you because there's a little wind blowing, isn't there?
Yeah, sorry about that.
I mean, that's all right. You can't control the wind, Jay. Well, you can if stop eating spicy food. Anyway, Ken, how the hell are you, man? What are you drinking?
Am I back on?
Yep, you're on.
Some,
it's like a workforce.
Double dry hop, formerly known as from Workforce.
That's a good one.
Yeah,
all right. You must have got that when you went down there at the weekend.
Yeah, we all picked up on Saturday.
Me too. Yeah, that's good. Ken, tell us the story of your T-shirt.
I don't know. I made it at summer camp a few years ago, family camp.
Well, thanks, guys. Welcome. And I'd like to extend a big welcome to the guys who are sitting patiently in the upper left, and that is the fine folks of Riverlands Brewing Company in St. Charles, Mr. Eric Bramwell and Mr. Jason. Damn, I forgot your last name.
It's Arges.
Well, guys, welcome indeed to the show. Very happy to have you here. I understand that you are having a busy time installing some equipment there. But before we get to that, what are you drinking?
I have Riverlands Brewing Company Electric Sunrise right here. It's a new double IPA we just made for the viewers there. It is in the glass, appropriately hazy, as I'm sure you'll love, Phil. It's a Citra and a hop that's new to us called Lotus. And Lotus was pretty cool. It has like an orange sort of creamsicle note to it. There's no lactose in this beer, no vanilla, none of that nonsense. It's just from the hops. It gives it a little bit of a, like a orangey, a little bit of vanilla kick to it. It's a pretty interesting hop.
And what are you drinking, Jason?
Actually, I'm drinking the same thing. So.
Boring.
Yeah, I know.
You're supposed to have something different. Well, I have to tell you what I am drinking. And actually, what I am drinking is your Arthur B's Pub Ale with my Riverlands koozie. So we always like to crack this open on the show. Oh, look at that. Lovely. Now, one of the things that I've noticed is that when I'm pouring from a crowler, I very often dribble it down the side. Is that me, or is that a feature of crowlers? That's what I want to know.
I'm terrible at it. They're a huge pain in the ass to pour to me. So either I'm just similarly bad at it as you and everyone else has it figured out, or maybe it's hard for everybody.
I think it's hard for everybody because I have the same problem too. The only thing I learned to maybe solve it is when you pour it, touching the can to the side of the glass so it doesn't drip down. It's my experience.
It's a whole scientific wonder, isn't it? Any tips, Ken?
I wonder if it's because we fill them so full when we're filling to order. You fill it way up to the rim and then you put the top on. There's like no gas in that at all. So when you open it, it's got I don't know.
Yeah, it's a good.
That's probably it dribbles down the side either, but it seems to do it every time.
You're getting value for money. That's what I hear.
Yeah.
And what about this Arthur B's Pub Ale, Eric? What was the story behind that?
It started off the first time we did it. We had it at our open a year ago, and we just did a 1-barrel batch of it. And we wanted something kind of, flavorful but low ABV because our opening menu had a lot of, strong beer on it. So we wanted something super light and sessionable, but still with a lot of flavor. So Arthur, my last name's Bramwell. Arthur Bramwell was my great-grandfather from England. So we named it after him since it's a British-style beer. And it sold pretty well. And we had a lot of people talk about how they enjoyed that beer. And we figured we'd bring it back around now and do a full 10-barrel run of it. And it's definitely a favorite among staff here.
And it's only 3%, I think.
3.9.
Okay, great. So that is a beer that one can enjoy a large glassful of, in which I have my English pint glass.
On the other end of that spectrum, how are things going with our collab beer, the barley wine?
It moved pretty well. We still have some of it left, but not much. It ran out a draft pretty quick, and bottle sales went pretty well. I just tried some of the bourbon barrel aged version of it to make sure that those were, coming along nicely. And I'm excited to see what that's going to do in about a year.
Yeah.
I think it'll be a lot of fun.
That's cool. If I'd have thought ahead, I would be drinking that right now.
I know, right? I was ill prepared.
Okay. So
I have a couple bottles myself at home, but I didn't bring it with me to Florida. Otherwise, I'd be cracking open one now. And I had it before. I'll have it again. I think it's delicious.
Thank you. Yeah, I was really happy with how that beer came out. I had a lot of fun doing the barley wine show, and it was interesting because I hadn't drank a whole lot of the style previously. I had my a few, but it was interesting to see how ours stacked up against some really, really good examples of it. So that was a cool experience, and I'm happy with how our beer came out.
I think that malt character that comes out from that 3-hour boil is it's so sweet and it's so delicious, man. Unique. I love it.
Yeah, some of those caramelization reactions that happen in the kettle that length of time, especially with our system being direct fire, where it, might get caramelizes maybe a little bit more right at the bottom of the kettle. It definitely made for some cool complex flavors for sure.
So, you guys, I heard since we brewed there, you've added some tanks. I just wondered what you've added, how much capacity, and what you're planning to do to use it for.
We did. We added, I'll duck out again so you can see, three new tanks by Quality Tank Solutions out of Wisconsin. They're our main equipment provider. And we added 2 20-barrel fermentation tanks and a 20-barrel bright tank. The cool thing about their tanks is they're 20 barrels, but they're a little oversized, so we can probably get a little bit more than 20 barrels in them, which is nice. The game plan for them as of right now is to increase our can distribution. So, just distribution in general. So usually right now we run 2 20-barrel batches of cans of 2 different beers at a time. Usually after we keg a few off of the tap room, we net about 140 cases of each beer. We'd like to get that amount up to about 200 per beer, then have more kegs for the tap room. So the couple kegs that we usually do don't run out before the cans do, like they have been. And then we want to be able to take some, 6-doles of those beers that we're canning up and get them around to, bottle shops that can also pour, once this craziness is over and those things can happen again. So the game plan is primarily distribution focused for those. We've also kind of shot around the idea a little bit of doing the same beer in each 20-barrel tank and doing 40 barrels of the same beer and get a lot more of that out there. So either way, no matter how we go with it, they're distribution focused for sure.
They look nice.
Yeah, they're nice and shiny. They're cool. Nice like brushed steel finish. The QTS stuff is pretty looking equipment for sure. Yeah, the main lesson there was hire a rigging company next time we get tanks in, because us with a forklift with a $20,000 something or other dollar tank on the end of a forklift with a bunch of idiots handling this thing.
I had never driven a forklift until that day.
Yeah. All of us, none of us knew what we were doing. It was an experience. I'm glad we didn't have witnesses.
I would guess that a lot of breweries do that. When I was with Pollyanna at the Roselle location, we didn't hire anyone to put in the tanks there, and there was only a 15 and 2 7s, and we did it with forklifts and all of us, and we did it, but it was one of those like literally all day affair figuring out how to rig it to get it upright.
Oh, yeah.
And kind of a pain in the butt. With all the stuff that's going on, have you guys, are you still able to get the supplies you need? You know, the malts, the yeast, everything. Are you still able to get that, or are you behind anywhere?
So far, it's been pretty good. Yeah, the only thing, right, I would say the only thing that we did, have to kind of go and outsource. Jason went up to Arges Brewery, the now unfortunately defunct Arges Brewery, which that was sad news to hear that. But our Arges went to Arges Brewery, and he got some German lager yeast for us that our supplier had run out of. Especially Omega yeast is who we use for the vast majority of our beers, and they had, you know, kind of that month-long shutdown. And we thankfully had a pretty fresh pitch of a couple of the yeasts that we use a lot of from them, so we were able to keep those pitches going by harvesting them over and over again. But we use a dry German lager strain from the Brewer Supply Group, and I'm assuming a lot of people were probably ordering that since their normal yeast kind of shut down. So we were thankfully able to find someone else to pick us up on that one and get us what we needed. But other than that, thankfully our can and label guy has been he's had our back, and
CO2 issues.
Yeah, no, I keep hearing about a CO2 shortage, and thankfully that hasn't hit us. And we've been very lucky. We happen to have a crowler shipment come in right before the whole shutdown happened. So we had a pallet and a half of crowlers before this even started, just ready to go. So we weren't scrambling around for that.
It was truly like a godsend. We were kind of annoyed. We had gotten kind of twice the order of crowlers that we had initially ordered, probably in January or December.
Right, we were thinking, what the hell are we going to do with all these?
We were annoyed because we were already packed to the gills in our production area. So the storage space was just super annoying. We had all these things in the way. And then when this thing hit, it was like, it was amazing that we actually had them ready to go. So it worked out.
We were very fortunate that
very lucky
we had those.
Hey,
So
hey Eric.
Yeah.
Your hazy's gone awfully dark.
Well, yeah, I switched to another new one that we just did called Three Chocolatiers. So it's a 10% imperial or a double milk stout.
Show us your chocolatiers.
There it is, and little product placement. There we go.
Beautiful.
We've been dialing this kind of base in a little bit. This is the third kind of imperial milk stout we've canned with different flavor variations of it. And this is the first one of the three that we hit it. And just before we put any adjuncts in it, I tasted the base out of the fermenter and thought, all right, this is exactly what I want it to be. The first two being a beer we did called Oreology with some Oreo cookies in it. And then the second one was called Duels and Duets. And that was coffee and vanilla. And they were both good beers, and I'm looking forward to making them again with a little bit of tweaking to it. But this is kind of the first crack at that base imperial milk stout, where, like I said, out of the tank, I knew this was it. This was right. So it was a fun beer. And then when you throw the cocoa nibs, we put I think about 100 pounds or so in a 20 barrel batch of cocoa nibs, something like that. It was a lot, and it came through.
Yeah. And that's available right now, like over the counter sales, or
yeah. So you can get on our website. Oh, we lost him.
We lost Jay. Okay, never mind. Carry on.
Yeah, it's on our website right now. We're doing the curbside pickup. You can get on our website and order it. It may see a little bit of distribution. We had big plans for distribution with the last beer that I was drinking, Electric Sunrise, and this one. And we sold out of our tap room far more than we expected to that opening weekend.
We were pretty dangerously low on beer in general.
Yeah.
And so we had to make the decision just to kind of hold off.
Right. So it still might see some distribution. We got to kind of like reassess after this week is done and kind of figure where we're at. But worst comes to worst, if anyone's looking for these two beers, get on our website, come here and come see us. And
there's no limits on it. So if you're picking up for friends or whatever.
So curbside's going well for you guys, though.
So far, while I have the chance to do this, I would love to throw a big thank you out to everyone who's supporting us right now. The support from the the beer community and the St. Charles community, and just really the community of beer lovers around this just general area has been really overwhelming. And when this whole thing started, just speaking for myself, I was losing sleep over how this was going to go and what was going to happen. And then when I found out that we could at least maintain some kind of sales, to go sales and distribution, I thought, okay, fine, all right, but how long is that going to last? You know, like the first weekend went really well, and you know, I'm like, that's great, but everyone's support local and everything like that. And I'm just thinking, oh, all right, so is this going to dry up or not the longer this goes on? And so far, it hasn't.
I'll say, and our amazing staff too. Like that's, I think, the game changer for us too is Jeremy, our chapter manager. Phil, I know you know Jeremy, and he was quick to figure out how to make all of that happen pretty quickly. Within like 2 days, he figured it and sorted it all out. So, big shout out to those guys. They were just very nimble.
So how's it work? How's the process work? People call in and place an order, or are they still coming in, or what?
So the first weekend or two that we did it, you could still come in and to-go order. And as this went on, we thought, all right, let's try and keep as little contact as possible, both for our staff and the customers. So the two ways you can order beer right now are either by calling it in and ordering over the phone, or if you go to riverlandsbrewing.com, the banner right when you first get on the website says click here to place to-go orders or something along those lines. You just click on that, and then it takes you to our online menu page. And it's really, really easy. You just you get on there, select the beers you want.
Pick up a time.
Yeah, select your pickup time, which you have to give an hour.
Yeah, you can even pick a specific day. So if you know you can't come out, because a lot of people may make a trip on a Friday or something like that.
Yeah, it's a really nice system, and so far our taproom staff has managed it really, really well.
Good. Before we go, of course, we always like to try and see whether we can ask our brewer friends, show us your fridge, please. Do you have a beer fridge?
Do we have a beer fridge?
Yes.
Or these two gentlemen below me?
No, we're looking for your beer fridge.
Our beer fridge. Well, our beer cooler right now is dangerously low. Can I unplug this and take us for a walk?
Let's pull that out.
So,
ooh, I like this. Ooh, I love it when we go on a walk.
Got it. All right. So here we have our grain stage for our brew tomorrow. So here we go. So that's your to-go beers right there. And then we have a few things from friends and such who drop by and give us some beer here and there, which is always very nice of them.
That's really cool, guys. I'm so happy that we're able to look inside the big beer fridge. And
we don't have a little beer fridge, unfortunately. We just we all drink out of there.
Well, that's cool. If you're going to have a beer fridge, have a frickin' big one.
Right, exactly. Yeah, there's no shortage of space in there.
All right. Well, you guys are going to be brewing your asses off for the next couple of weeks, right?
That's the plan. We just put a double batch in one of the 20-barrel fermenters behind us. We're brewing an American wheat for the first time tomorrow. We're looking for some kind of like a little bit between a Goose Island 312 and a Bell's Oberon, somewhere in that range. And then next week we've got another 20-barrel batch that's going to fill the tank right behind me. That's a returning one, Doodle Face, our Mosaic and Eldorado IPA. Then we've got a West Coast IPA going in next week, and I think a sour IPA. We're going to try that for the first time and see what happens with it. Yeah, that'll be fun. I don't have any idea what to expect with that one. It's kind of a new thing for us. We're going to give it a shot.
Well, we will have all the information about how to get your beer and where to get your beer at the end of this video, which is coming up in just a few seconds. So all it remains for me after I finish my crowler, on with that, is to say cheers from me.
Cheers for me.
Cheers for me.
Cheers.
And all together, cheers.